threat to Rome's entire political system. Despite Cinna's every effort to reverse the Senate's decree regarding Gaius Marius, he was successfully blocked. Octavius and the conservative faction, which Sulla had left much stronger than the populists, outnumbered Cinna's populares in most debates and votes. Ultimately, to counter the wall of conservative resistance, Lucius Cornelius Cinna purchased the services of a tribune of the plebs. In true Marian form, Cinna's new ally took his proposed legislation directly to the people, as his uncle, Marcus Octavius, had once done by challenging the legislation of Tiberius Gracchus. Gnaeus Octavius now repeated the process by using conservative tribunes of the plebs to veto any attempts to present bills to the people. The moment Cinna's bill was vetoed, Cinna and his supporters resorted to violence in order to intimidate the conservative tribunes into withdrawing their vetoes. When this action failed, a full-scale riot broke out in the Forum Romanum. Octavius armed his conservative supporters with clubs and cudgels in order to fight off Cinna and his Marians. Though they failed to take down Cinna, who escaped the chaos, many of the newly enfranchised Italians were murdered on the order of Octavius, who used his office to justify the death. Octavius next moved the Senate to formally strip Lucius Cornelius Cinna of not only his consulship, but his Roman citizenship as well. To replace the exiled Cinna in the consulship, Octavius arranged for the election of Lucius Cornelius Merilla, who was the current Flamen Dialis, or high priest to Jupiter. Having escaped the violent city, Cinna fled to the town of Nola, where a detachment of Rome's army was still stationed. From there, he sent urgent messages to other die-hard Marians to quickly come to his aid. Quintus Sertorius, the man who had lived for 2 years among the wandering German tribes, answered the call. He was a bona fide Marian, and quickly marched his legions to join with Cinna. With both armies combined, Cinna and Sertorius began levying additional troops from the Italian countryside. Once their army was large enough, Cinna and Sertorius followed Sulla's precedent by pointing their armies towards Rome. Upon receiving the news that Rome was, for a second time, to be invaded, Octavius sent out desperate appeals to various pro-magistrates in the area. He commanded them to march their armies to the Senate's aid. Gnaeus Pompeius Strabo, who, following his success in the social war, had settled his soldiers on the land surrounding his estates in Picenum, was able to mobilize his army the fastest. He quickly marched for Rome, and camped his legions outside the Colline Gate. When Cinna and Sertorius arrived, their armies laid siege to the city.